have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back.
12 challenges in the life of Saint Mother Teresa. Challenge number 1. Mother Teresa lost her dad in early childhood. Mother Teresa was born into a loving, happy family. Her parents, Nicholas and Rosa, nurtured their children well. Growing up in the midst of this joyful existence was a pleasure for Aga, Lazar and Agnes. Nicholas was a prominent businessman involved in local politics. His political activity may have been connected to his sudden death, which many suspected was due to poisoning. Agnes was only 7 years old. Rosa, her mother, was now entirely responsible for her children. Challenge number 2. Living her faith daily. Her family was active in the parish church, Sacred Heart of Jesus. They regularly participated in church meetings, religious services, and the choir. Agnes was a gifted soprano for the choir. She was also an active member of the Daughters of Mary, and she faithfully attended her catechism classes. The faith of the family extended beyond the walls of the church. Rosa, her mother, never sent the poor away hungry. She taught her 3 children to consider the poor as their brothers and sisters. Agnes would eventually make this her life's mission. Challenge number 3. At 12, she dreamt of becoming a missionary. Agnes had a special interest in missionary service. She eagerly absorbed any news of missionary activity. Whenever she heard of a new missionary endeavor, she would locate the mission site on a map of the world. She followed the reports of Christian missionaries working in far-off places, hoping one day to join their company. At 12 years, she told her mother she wanted to be a missionary, but her mother said, "Wait." At 18, Agnes, while offering prayers to an altar in honor of Mary, the patroness of her place, she felt a vocation confirmed in her heart. She believed that Mary had interceded for her to help her know her vocation with certainty. Challenge number 4. Goodbye, Mama. At 18 years of age, Agnes waved goodbye to her little family whom she would never see again, and she stepped onto the train alone. Traveling through Yugoslavia, Austria, Switzerland, France, and England, she arrived safely at the mother house of the Sisters of Our Lady of Loretto in Dublin, Ireland. This was the missionary teaching order she had decided to join. Challenge number 5. Goodbyes. She was a multinational personality. She lived in Macedonia, Albania from 1910 to 1912, in Serbia from 1912 to 1915, in Bulgaria from 1915 to 1918, in Yugoslavia from 1918 to 1948, and finally in India from 1948 till 1997, the year of her death. Challenge number 6. India, I am coming. Agnes studied English for 2 months before boarding a ship for India, which arrived 37 days later. After spending 1 week in Calcutta, Agnes travelled to the novitiate house in Darjeeling, India. 2 years more and Agnes took her religious name Mary Teresa after Saint Teresa of Lisieux. Challenge number 7. Indian by choice. After making her temporary vows, Sister Teresa went to Calcutta for her first assignment. She moved to the pristine campus of St. Mary's High School, which served girls from wealthy Indian families. During her first years there, Sister Teresa taught history and geography. Later, she served as the director of studies. Sister Teresa was quite content at St. Mary's, where she would spend 17 years. She embraced her new home and culture to such an extent that she would later declare herself to be Indian by choice. She considered herself the happiest nun in the community, though her life there was one of routine responsibility. The sisters who lived with her considered her to be ordinary, quiet, and shy. Challenge number 8. Inspiration Day. A call within a call. On September 10th, 1946, something out of the ordinary took place in Sister Teresa's life. On this day, which she later referred to as Inspiration Day, she heard God speak to her while she was traveling by train to Darjeeling. She understood that God was asking her to start a new order of missionary sisters who would work among the poorest of the poor in India. But she did not know how she was to carry out this divine directive. I knew where I belonged, she later said, but I did not know how to get there. She firmly believed Jesus was making this request, and she wanted to respond with generous love. In a letter to the Archbishop, dated January 1947, she asked for the Archbishop's permission. In spite of her desire to begin this work, however, she respectfully wrote, "At one word that your grace would say, I am ready never to consider again any of those strange thoughts which have been coming continually." Thankfully, Archbishop did not tell her to abandon the idea, but it would be some time before she was able to carry out the call God had placed in her heart. Challenge number 9. ADEUS, LORETTO. Sister Teresa had no intention of giving up her religious vows, but she did need permission to leave her religious community. After several years marked by letters and visits to obtain special permission from the Archbishop of Calcutta, the Mother General of the Loretto nuns, and the Holy Father, Pope Pius XII, Sister Teresa was finally ready to say farewell to her convent home. On August 17, 1948, Sister Teresa left behind the beautiful St. Mary's School, the community of sisters and students who had become her friends, and the comfort of stability and routine. She took off the religious habit she had worn for 20 years, donned the white sari of the poorest Indian women, and walked out into the streets of Calcutta. Challenge number 10. New mission, new challenge. After taking a course in nursing, Sister Teresa conducted classes for children, gathering them together in the open air. She taught the basics of personal hygiene and then gave lessons in the faith. At the beginning, this makeshift school was truly humble. Dirt and sticks had to suffice in place of paper and pencils. In spite of the scarcity of proper materials, however, the children came to love Sister Teresa, and the crowds grew each day. As she walked through the slums on these missions of charity, she witnessed extreme destitution. Many people were living on the streets or in the gutters. Most of these forgotten men and women were on the verge of death. Her attentiveness to people in such situations became the hallmark of her work. She approached the city authorities and asked for a place to bring the suffering people from the streets. They gave her an empty old building in a Hindu temple, which she filled with patients within 24 hours. Challenge number 11. New society. And so the Society of the Missionaries of Charity was born. In the next months, several young women came to join, all of them her former students from St. Mary's. With their help, she soon set up her first school. Then came a home for the sick and the dying, Nirmal Hriday, home of the pure heart. The building immediately filled to capacity with suffering people. Sister Teresa is now called as Mother Teresa or simply Mother. No convent at first, just a rented apartment. Within 2 years, the Missionaries of Charity, with its 12 original members, had gained pontifical approval. Within 3 years, they had built a mother house, established an orphanage, and set up a program to serve lepers. 12 years later, they opened their first home outside of India. By 1971, the order ran 50 homes throughout the world. Mother Teresa once told several sisters who were about to begin a new mission, "If there are poor people on the moon, we will go there." Today there are about 700 missions operating in over 130 countries. The scope of their work also expanded to include orphanages and hospices for those with terminal illness. Mother Teresa used to say, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." She went on to help found the Missionary Brothers of Charity and 2 contemplative branches, the Missionary Brothers and Sisters of the Word. She also worked to establish the co-workers who support the Missionaries of Charity by offering prayers and resources for the work of the order. It was not easy. She dealt with opposition and resistance from political authorities, as well as the ongoing challenge of caring for the poor and the sick without any regular income for her order. She also endured decades of intense spiritual darkness as well as physical pain and trauma. In 1979, she won the prestigious Nobel Peace Prize. She didn't attend the big banquet, but asked that the $192,000 fund be given to the poor. Challenge number 12. Facing heart attacks. When she was 78, she suffered from heart problems, likely aggravated by exhaustion from her work. Her doctors installed a pacemaker, and Pope John Paul II asked her to take concern for her health. She took 6 months of rest. Within another year, she stepped down as Superior General of the Order, but 5 months later, she was reinstalled. Mother never fully recovered her health. She suffered 5 heart attacks before she finally rested in peace. She died on September 5th, 1997 at the Mother House in Calcutta, which had long since become her home. The world celebrated her 100th birthday, a century of life here on earth, on 26 August 2010. She was beatified on 19 October 2003 by Pope St. John Paul II, and she was canonized on September 4th, 2016 by Pope Francis. As we remember Mother Teresa, let us also recall to our mind her powerful quotes. Spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without living happier. Some people come in your life as blessings. Some come in your life as lessons. If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. Kind words are short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. What can you do to promote world peace? Go home and love your family. Let us always meet each other with smile, for the smile is the beginning of love. Thank you.